If you take this to heart, it will shift your life to no end. And what this is simply the invitation and the understanding that in any single moment, the only thing that can actually be missing, that could be lacking in your life in the moment is more of you in the moment. It is such a helpful pointer, and I'm going to explain this. So at first, this sounds totally cliche of like, oh yeah, the only thing that's missing is more of you, just be more present in the moment. No, this actually has a very direct biological application into your existence, into your being, into your body. What this means is that even if you're experiencing a shitty moment, the most powerful thing that you could do is breathe into that shitty moment with your breath and simply say, I choose to be here. I choose to embrace this whatever, this shitty moment, this lack, this scarcity, this heartbreak, this boredom, this whatever crappy thing that you don't want to be feeling. Like most people, my whole life, because I didn't know this, on a deep unconscious level, I was constantly trying to outrun scarcity. There was this constant field of scarcity in my life, in my body, in my bank account, and it would show up in my bank account, it would show up in my love life, it would show up in my health and my energy levels. And like most people, I try to run away from it. I try to outrun it. Now, the way this looks like is you feel this like dampening feeling or whatever crap that you're going through. And instead of going into it, like I like to say, heading right into the torpedo, we try to deflect. Now, that deflection could look like distraction for most people, but it could also look like addiction, or it could look like trying to achieve, to try to become something so that you don't feel that little piece of shit that some part of you is reminding you that you are. The way I tried to outrun it was by making a crap load of money, being famous, kind of semi-famous, I think, for a while, and just being busy, and go, and overcompensating in many parts of my life. And when that didn't work, then I tried different ways of doing that, or different types of achieving, or different types of doing, different types of deflection activities. And nothing ever worked. No matter what I touched, it would kind of like get good for a while, it would be exciting, and then it would just go wah, 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 right back into a reflection of what was actually going on inside of me, which I wasn't willing at that point yet to choose, to embrace, to feel through. And whatever is internally happening inside of you on an energetic level will eventually, if not instantly, propagate into the three-dimensional external manifestation and reflection that you experience as your life. So, what is the remedy? The remedy is to choose this moment, even if it is a shitty moment. To choose to breathe into it with your breath. And I know this might sound silly, it might sound inconsequential, but believe me, it will have a dramatic and profound effect on your body and on your entire life, and it will reflect and propagate through every single aspect of your life, in your health, in your body, in your finances, in your love, in your creativity. The greatest thing that has happened for me with this practice is just the shit that comes through me and the creativity that happens through me. It's like I can't even turn it off at this point. It's just a constant flow of more and more stuff coming through me that wants to be created, that wants to be spoken, that just shines through me sometimes even without words. And the reason why that happens is because when you choose this moment, when you choose to actually penetrate the darkness that is happening inside of you, light actually can then pour through. You can relax in the shit. And when you relax in the shit, the resistance to the shit just dissolves. And so there's just shit, and you breathe into it. And at first it seems like, oh, the shit will drown me. Good, drown in the shit. Oh no, I'm dying. Good, die. Just let go, okay? And it's usually like, oh no, I'm dying. The shit. Oh, I'm still here. Well, Well, now what? And this is how transmutation works. This activates the transmutative power of your body, of your heart. Your body is a receiver, a transmuter, and a transmitter. Now, most people only focus on the receiver and the transmitter part, kind of more on the transmitter, which is all these teachings of like, manifest your destiny, step into a better energy so that you can emit good vibrations and all of that stuff. That's a tiny fraction of the energetics of the human body. What's actually more potent, what I've found, that activates the whole equation is learning how to transmute by receiving the shit. Most people, they only want to experience the good stuff, the abundance, the happiness, the love, the bliss. But as soon as the shit comes up, you don't want to feel it. There's this resistance to it. This is going to unlock so much of your power by you willing to actually choose it, to face it. And I'm telling you, it doesn't last long, okay? Even if you're dealing with the heaviest, most massive grief in your body of your entire life, if you choose it fully, if you fully go into it, it won't last longer than 20 minutes. It'll be a wave and then maybe another wave. That's actually one of the most powerful ways to get through grief, is to go fully into it and allow it to wash over you. Now, that's not even going to be closely or remotely the case with you if you're dealing with anything but completely life-altering grief, like the death of something massive or someone massive in your life. It's going to go much faster, and it's going to go quicker the more you're willing to just choose it, to just be in it. You go, okay, I choose this moment. This breath is just for this thing. It's so completely okay for you to be in my life, in my body, speaking to this energy. Just take this breath and all of me with it. I'm fully here for you. Do that and watch what it does. The light can only be the light if it can penetrate the darkness. And that's the beautiful thing about this. You learn what that actually means. There's all this new age hokey pokey ideas about light and higher levels of consciousness. I want to be an enlightened being. But what I found through my journey is that all that is bullshit. The only way you get there is by actually going lower and deeper into the pockets of shadow and darkness within your own consciousness, within your own body, to illuminate that. These two forces meet and you're whole. And that's what light actually is the willingness to go into those places and clean the shit up. Otherwise, it's not light. It's just a stagnant energy kind of like sitting in the background going, I'm the light. But that dark thing, I don't want to touch it. That's not how God and consciousness works. Imagine the sun shining and going, I don't know, today, like, I'm just going to I don't want to look at that dark part of the earth. I'm just going to back off, right? It would just diminish its light. Or you have like a room with a bunch of just like dirty shit everywhere in a corner and you're like, I don't want to look at that today. Like, have you ever walked into someone's home and they just like have a mess everywhere and piles of dishes and just like bottles of booze everywhere? And they're like, hey, come hang out with me. And you're like, I don't know, yeah, I'll, be back later. It just doesn't give you that vibe of like, yeah, I want to hang out here and be friends with you. It just feels like they're hiding something. They're lazy. They're, rejecting a part of themselves. It doesn't bring that inviting feeling. But when you walk into someone's home and it's just clean and they're on top of their shit and they're radiating and they're smiling, you know right away that they're willing to look in places that most people aren't willing to look. And so there's a greater degree of trust. And the same thing is going to happen for you when you start to choose this moment, no matter what happens, no matter how dark things get, no matter how shitty it is, how big the depression, the fatigue, the tiredness, just that one breath into it of, I am here for this fully. Magic begins to happen. Opportunities will come in your way. Things that couldn't be resolved before will suddenly begin to resolve. Doors that were closed before will begin to open. and a peace will begin to reside in your being that is unfuckable with.